it is, man. We back. MIC podcast, man. Episode 145, where one is a master of their own creation. And you know the deal, man. We have a very special guest in the building. Some of you may recognize his face. He's a, you may recognize him, but he's a bit new around here. He just stopped by to say hi, checking on things. We have Michael, the Master in Creation, Harrell, the owner of the MIC podcast, the owner of Masters in Creation Media as a whole, a brand that's been going strong for 3 going on 4 years. In the building, El Presidente. What's shaking, brother?
Brother,
how you doing, man?
love to be here.
Yeah, man. Now you looking real official,
It's corporate Mike.
Absolutely. Nah, man. Thank you. Again for stopping by. Like you said, we kind of do these check-ins, towards the end of the year. And yeah, man, I just kind of want to pick your brain on a few things. We really won't talk about music as much, but to kind of hop into it. And I'm not sure if you mentioned it on the pod before, just your aspirations politically. Have you mentioned that at all?
I made a rather aggressive statement maybe 40 episodes ago.
Right.
And since then, I've been calm.
Sure. Right. But for those who may not know, down the line in the future, big picture. I mean, really not too far in the future, but you do have aspirations to run for mayor of Pittsburgh, which I think is super, super dope. And I think that as far as the perfect, I'm going to say, political level to get to affect change, I think that's an overlooked position. And I think it's if you really have aspirations to make change into your community, I think that's a perfect position to strive for, honestly. So when did thoughts of that start for you? And when did it just throughout those thoughts solidify more to you that I could do this? And as a matter of fact, fuck it, I will.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing that I guess I did take away from being a political science major,
right,
and at Penn State,
right,
since I did nothing academically while I was at Penn State,
all right, I was right there with you, my nigga. Facts.
I remember, I don't know which one of my classes it was in political science.
Mm-hmm.
I remember them saying that there was a certain percentage that wasn't zero of uncontested elections in the U.S.
Interesting.
Uncontested. That means there is nobody running against the person who is running.
Facts.
So by default, essentially, that person wins.
Right.
Well, that's interesting. Like there's uncontested elections.
Right.
All right. So that means whoever's on that other side, they just kind of by default win. Okay. I was like, man, I could do an uncontested election. Find where there's an uncontested election where somebody is not going to be even running against me. Just a funny thought I had.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Then I took it a step further, and I was like, I have no aspirations of president.
Right.
I have no aspirations of even being in the Senate, learning everything that they deal with and all that bullshit that comes with it. Don't want it.
Right.
But I've always wanted to enact change at a grand scale. And I always had the aspiration of doing it with the company and, the effect that we already have on kids and other artists and entrepreneurs and et cetera here in the community is something that I knew we could do and that we are currently doing.
Right.
But I then was like, I have to get larger than that. And I, as some people may know, I had a huge real thought in my mind that I did not want to be in Pittsburgh post-graduation.
Yeah.
I wanted to be anywhere but Pittsburgh. And through my early 20s, I found my resolution of why the fuck am I trying to leave this damn near perfect place?
What reaffirmed that for you when you were having those thoughts?
For some reason, and maybe some of it was validated, that I felt like I didn't have anything here. Even being from here and having the boys who I grew up in love and family was still within the city limits and everything, I just felt like there wasn't anything for me, or that I needed to go somewhere else in order to grow into the person that I wanted to become. And I think a huge part of it too was you coming out here and us solidifying Masters of Christian Media and us solidifying the podcast, me getting the music recognition that I felt I deserved without being in LA, New York, Miami, Texas, major places.
Like major markets.
So it just made me open my eyes, and then me be able to see the change that I can make. And Pittsburgh is not too big, it's not too small, and being mayor is very realistic. And we saw a few mayors back won it at 25.
It's crazy.
The election is either 25 or 26.
That's crazy. Son, a mayor at 25 is wild.
It is wild.
That's crazy.
It is wild. And I just knew, again, that it was just something that was attainable, something I can make massive change doing it. And something I would love to do. That is where I feel like all of Michael would be utilized. All of Michael, because I genuinely care about people.
Right.
I genuinely want to create change.
Right.
I genuinely know what needs to be changed. I'm extremely middle ground. I'm extreme on an issue, maybe.
Yeah, right.
If that. I listen to people truly. I just have a natural empathy to me.
Yeah, right.
Someone recently called me an empath.
Yeah, right.
Somebody, and the way that they described it was just that I'm able to understand energy without words being spoken.
Right.
I just understand certain things without anything being spoken.
Right.
And that's just something that I've just always had, and I just know that I can use that for the greater good of the city. I care about the city a lot.
No, I don't think anyone would debate you on that fact at all. They could go to 144 other episodes, you know what I mean, to accommodate that factor. I'm using the wrong word there, but and as far as, because you're someone who, again, doesn't jump in anything really blindly, right? We're out here taking risks, but calculated risks, and just even in your research of past mayors, just even within Pittsburgh, or just, and this is assuming that you have, when you're looking at mayors, like, what are some of the, I guess, things you would do differently, or how would your approach differ from maybe some of the stuff that you've seen, assuming you're looking at past mayors? And
in the same way that I don't listen to other artists, even if I love other artists, and say, how can I do this differently in that?
Right.
I just do me.
Right.
I don't care what any mayor, any president, any senator, any community leader, anybody ever did. I know what I want to achieve. And that's just all I care about. That's all I've ever cared about in my life. I don't care about what anybody else has done. Yes, there's things that you can learn from people.
Of course.
Tons of people I want to meet. I don't know everything, and I would love to ask the people who might know something.
Right.
But I know the questions that I need answered, and I'm just going to go find the people who have the answers to those questions.
Of course.
Otherwise, I'm just going to do what I want to do. I want to bring a real economy here to Pittsburgh. I want Pittsburgh, which I already feel is safe, to be even safer.
Right, I agree.
You don't defund police. You fund police to make police more competent.
Right.
More empathetic.
Right.
More understanding.
Right.
Better trained.
Right.
I want it to be fun to go downtown in Pittsburgh, and for things to be in downtown Pittsburgh, and not just be a corporate cesspool of just different buildings where you just go to work at.
Yeah.
I want people to go downtown to actually do things.
Right.
Constantly. I want there to be events in Pittsburgh constantly.
To be a downtown. It's going to be a downtown. Yeah.
I'm not somebody that wants to go out. I understand the importance of a nightlife.
Of course, right.
I understand the importance of having fun things for adults to do.
Right.
To attract younger people to your city who are bringing youth, income, experience into the city.
That's a fact.
These are things that I don't need to ask if somebody else has done or this right now. I just know those are things I need to get done, and how to go about that, I will figure that out in the moment, just like I've done with everything else.
100%.
I just know what I want to do.
Right.
And from there, I'll learn how to do it.
Right.
Like I have done. Like, again, like how I've done with everything else.
And even going off that, bro, because you asked me on my episode, just, are there any qualities that you see in other people that you may want to possess? And I just kind of want to remix that. And shout out to Artists Talk Mental Health again. We had this discussion probably second cohort. Excuse me, second cohort. We're just talking about leaders, and I think that leaders naturally just kind of show themselves. I think situations arise where everyone who claims that they are a leader or may possess leadership qualities, and a situation comes around, it dilutes those who actually aren't, and then those who are would rise up to the occasion. And I just think that's just like a natural energy in life, you know? And I think you're someone like that, who you're just a natural leader. You just gravitates towards things that leaders would do. And you have leadership qualities on top of that, but we were discussing that everyone with leadership qualities isn't necessarily a leader. So I want to ask you, when you look at a proper leader or someone who may even inspire you as far as a leader goes, what does that look like? What qualities does that person embody?
I'll give you the name of somebody who I'll praise to the nth degree, is Miss Lee Solomon.
Absolutely.
Lee Solomon is somebody who should be a guest here coming at some point.
Yeah, 100%.
She is, to me, one of the most impressive women in this city, if not the most impressive woman, if not one of the most impressive people in the entire city.
100%.
I told her at her last event, because I go to all of her award events, to show support, be around important people, and learn.
Right.
And just the way, what makes a great leader is you get the absolute best out of everybody around you.
Facts.
And they just instinctually know they need to give their best. They feel awkward not giving their best around you because they see you giving your 130% constantly.
Right.
And they know that you, for yourself, demand perfection. So if I, within myself, demand perfection, and I'm constantly building towards that, and I'm not berating people, I'm not putting people down, I am doing nothing but uplift. That's all I do with people who are around me. When you're around me, all I do is try to uplift you. All I do is praise you and make you feel as comfortable being yourself as possible. And I think that is the core of a great leader. We see it. That's why I love sports so much, and specifically football. It's because the quarterback, by default, is the leader, but we see there's few leaders who are quarterbacks. Every quarterback has to be the leader, and there's very few leaders who are quarterbacks. And the ones who are the best leaders are the ones who are successful in football. The ones who can take a Julian Edelman, who might not be a Super Bowl MVP without you.
Yeah.
Take people like Danny Amendola. Take people like Wes Welker, great wide receiver, would not be who he was without Tom Brady.
Right.
And Tom Brady not one time says, this guy was ass.
Yeah, right.
Not one time was, I really had to build this guy. I mean, he just came in just.
I think Aaron Rodgers say, I don't know. Yeah. He just ass. I threw it to him, he's ass. I don't know.
Not a leader.
No, that's a fact.
Not a leader.
No, right.
And he has one Super Bowl.
Yeah,
and he was not the leader of that team.
Right.
So, again, it just comes down to just somebody who wants the absolute best for themselves, constantly seeks perfection, and does nothing but uplift those around them. And that's what creates great leadership.
Absolutely. When you first had the idea of starting a media company, what was that initial idea like? Was it something to help but was it something that you always wanted to align with your music career? Was that something that you maybe would have done without having a music career, was create a media company, with the podcast on it? What was the formation of the media company like for you?
I mean, music had to come first.
Yeah, right.
Music had to come first, and I had to see the lack of resources and the lack of, flat out appreciation for artists here in the city.
Right.
For me to have the ambition to go and do this. I'm not sure if I would have done this if I didn't go and put my art out into the world and the world look and go, I don't give a fuck.
Right.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Thankfully, that is what happened.
Right.
At the time, I wouldn't have said thankfully.
Of course.
Now, in hindsight, thankfully, that is what happened, because that then led to 145 episodes
right.
of the Master of Creation podcast, a podcast that brings people of all walks of life onto a microphone and allows them to speak as themselves for an hour or more.
Yeah.
Something that's going to be around for much longer to come. And down the line, there's going to be more facets to Masters of Creation Media Company.
Of course, yeah.
But I've learned to maintain what you already have. Maintain what you already have to the absolute fullest. Make sure what you have is maintained so beautifully. And I do that in every aspect of my life. But for this, I just want to make sure that this podcast is maintained. Make sure that my music is maintained. And if I can maintain those two things, then I have a better footing to add a third leg to that. And add a fourth piece, a fifth piece, a sixth piece. So, yeah, it wouldn't have been created without my music career. I wouldn't have had the connections, the thoughts, the everything, to be able to create it. But I'm extremely glad that I did.
100%. When it comes to when it comes to just realizing or being aware of the charisma it takes to constantly uplift people around you, for people to just sort of naturally follow your lead without you really saying anything and just kind of watching what you do. When did you realize that you had something like that? I think with people with that sort of gift or ability, I think the moment that they realize it is a key just point in life for them, because then they can decide what to do with this, and I think, I just wanted your thoughts on, at what did you realize that kind of earlier in life, or was that more towards adulthood that you realized, okay, like I definitely kind of have something as far as that goes?
The second piece is the tricky piece. Second piece of what you said, what do I do with this?
Yeah, right.
I learned this at probably 2, 3. I would assume, I could be wrong, I would have to ask other true leaders. I think we all share that. Whenever you were a kid, when it was recess time, you want to be picked first.
I agree.
Whenever people read, I've never had fear as a kid reading in front of class. Whenever it was project time, I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved to be able to go up there and present shit. I always just wanted to lead. It never made sense to me. I've never felt comfortable not being the leader.
Yeah.
I've seen how things can go bad if I'm not leading, and that is frustrating. Like, that's where that was my first,
that's
real, where I'm like,
yo, this nigga bullshit, man.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if y'all don't just fucking listen to me over here,
right.
Like, an actual leader, like, let's, because trust me, I think, correct me wrong, I think our goal is to succeed.
You're right, yeah.
Right? I think our collective goal is to succeed.
Yeah.
I can make us do that if you want. No, you don't want. Okay, cool. So now that's whenever I shut off. I shut off instantly. If I know I have the capacity to lead something and I'm watching somebody lead and fuck it up, dude, I shut the fuck off. Right. I become silent. I don't want to be involved. I don't
think you're alone. Like, people that are similar to you, I don't think y'all are alone in that.
I don't think we have the capacity to do that.
Right.
With that being said, a true leader also knows when to learn.
Jewel.
That's the other part of it too. That's the other part of it too. Tom Brady didn't start off as a starter of the New England Patriots.
I'm so glad. Yeah,
Patrick Mahomes didn't start off as the starter.
Go ahead, bro.
Of the Kansas City Chiefs. Ben Roethlisberger came in, I think, after the injury to Tommy Maddox. I'm pretty sure. I don't even think that he came in as a rookie and started.
Wow.
I'm sure his may have even been due to injury too.
Wow, look at that.
And learn, but it's. And he had a legendary coach,
right?
And all. So, learning does not mean that you are now no longer a leader.
Thank you.
That's part of leadership,
right? Exactly.
Is learning and knowing who to listen to.
Exactly.
But when it comes to things that I am trying to achieve,
of course,
then I want to be the leader of that thing. Now, to the second part of what to do with that. That happened at 25. That happened at 25.
Okay.
That moment was me starting all of this. It was at that point where I finally understood what to do with all that energy, because I'm trying to lead this, I'm trying to lead that, I'm trying to lead my own life, I'm trying to lead. What do I actually want to lead? I want to lead Pittsburgh into a better place than it was whenever I was born. That's really what I want to lead. How do I get there? then it started that. And then I found myself being around the people who I want to be around, in the rooms I want to be in, doing the things that I want to do. Is at that moment that my leadership was then condensed and put into a concentrate.
Yeah.
And I can use it wherever I want to. That's another thing. Tom Brady didn't play basketball, baseball, football, volleyball, hockey, lacrosse.
Right.
At a professional level.
Stick to this fucking football.
He played
be
football.
Good at football.
He played football.
He'd be a good quarterback and chill out.
And he would just put all that leadership into being a great fucking quarterback. And look where it got him.
Yeah. You think that people kind of get caught up in trying to do everything rather than focus on a singular thing and be good at that?
Yeah, because I did. So I did. I wanted to make sure that I wanted everything to be great and everything to be at the highest level. I want to be professional in everything simultaneously. I wanted to have my first million stream song, become mayor, be married, have kids, and everything in the same week.
Right.
At 22.
Yeah, right.
You know, and
That's
it's
so
just
funny.
life don't work like that. Things don't work like that.
Literally.
And you should feel bad for the people that get dropped into a heap of responsibility out of nowhere, especially at a young age.
I do, bro. I know that's not easy, bro.
Because I promise you, they don't know how to handle it.
Bro, I know it's not easy.
Would you have at 21, 20, 19, 18? No, you wouldn't have.
I would have blown the world up. It would just ended somehow. The world would have blown up, like, you know. And even to, you know, what you said, and I would love your perspective on this too. You said, you know, Brady, he was the backup for Bledsoe. You know, Mahomes came in as a backup. But I still think even then, those are two leaders, right, that just weren't, for lack of a better word, developed yet. And I do want to ask, do you think leadership is developed?
Their skills weren't developed. Their leadership was always there.
I agree.
Was always there. They just weren't given their opportunity yet.
Right.
And I'm sure it's frustrating. Kobe Bryant says the most another person who did not start right off the rip and be Kobe Bryant right whenever he got into the league. And he spoke that was his most frustrating time period in it was not even whenever he was playing with those fucking stupid ass kids at the age of 80.
Ingram, who was on that team,
young boy, yeah, like
he wasn't even pissed
rookies,
then. Like
yeah.
you just like, all right, whatever. Like
young, you know, that wasn't even. I mean, yes, he had his frustration.
Sure.
That still wasn't his most frustrating time period. Is whenever he was sitting there on the bench and he knew what he was capable of. But in that time, you just focus on your craft and you learn. You just take that time to focus on your craft and learn as much as possible, knowing that whenever you're given your opportunity, then it's time.
Right.
Now it's time to lead. And then once he was given his opportunity, he led sense. And he had the fortunate, unfortunate 1B or 1A with Shaquille O'Neal, which then led to a frustration. But then did you notice he left? Because you had two leaders on a team. That's rare. You had two true leaders on a team. So one guy went off and he won a championship. After he left, Kobe Bryant won 2 championships. They both went somewhere else and they won. Those are true leaders. You know, where you go somewhere and you affect that
the culture,
that locker room, those people that are around you. Can you uplift everybody to set a certain standard? Dwayne Wade was fantastic,
right,
and was the leader, de facto of that team. He needed the guidance of Shaquille O'Neal.
100%.
He's not winning that title without Shaquille.
And Wade would tell you that.
He's
right.
just not doing that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so that's just one of the rare circumstances. But yeah, the original question of
just as far as, do you think that just being that leader is innate or is that developed? And I agree with what you said. You said that they just didn't have the skill set yet. I agree, but the mentality was already. Yeah. They just needed, you know, the skills is something you can teach, just certain tendencies and learn.
Yeah.
But it's the mentality when you panned over to Brady and he on the sideline like this, and they down.
It's dangerous for the other team.
You can't teach that.
Yeah.
You can't teach a nigga to look like this on the sideline.
And that's what I don't think, and I think it's funny that companies spend so much money and work tirelessly to train leadership. And you can't. It's something that you can't. You can give them more skills. Right. You can give someone more resources. But if they're not a leader, it doesn't matter how many resources you give them. Doesn't matter how much skill you give them. They'll be skilled at something. They just won't be a leader. They just won't be a leader.
And, it just even kind of leads to my next question. What do you say, or how? Because I liken it to Klay Thompson, right? I think he has leadership qualities, but he's not a leader. Like, can you have leadership qualities and not be a leader?
I think that you can have very good control over yourself, and that's an admirable quality to have.
Interesting.
He has complete control over Klay Thompson.
Right.
I don't think anybody sways him. I think he makes decisions on his own.
Right.
I think that he shows up to practice. I think that he puts in the work in practice. He knows what his job is and what his role is, and he goes out there and does it.
Mm-hmm.
Klay Thompson cannot go and be the number one on a team and lead them to a championship, multiple championships. It just wouldn't happen. It would never happen. I think part of that too is, in order to be a great leader, you also have to develop the skills.
100%.
There might be a good question that I don't just off the top hand have an answer to.
Yeah, of course.
Give examples of leaders who lack skill,
right,
and never develop the skill.
Right.
They're a true leader and they never develop the skill.
Yeah, that's
unfortunately when it comes to being the leader, you have to also have the skills, because no one's going to have faith in you.
Credibility to
People just aren't gonna have faith in you. They're just not gonna have the trust in you,
right?
Because a lot of it does come down to trust too.
100%.
I was asked today, what do you want most out of a coworker? And I then realized, what do you want most out of any relationship? Trust. The number one thing that you want is trust. As long as you have trust, everything else can fall in line. If I can trust that you're going to do this thing, no matter what the thing, you fill in the blank. If I have trust in you, if I have trust that I can step away and things are being done, trust. Trust is that key thing, you know? So they have to trust that you could do something. So if you can't do it, then they don't have trust in you to be able to do it. So part of that great leadership is having the skills. Maybe if you are truly a natural great leader and you're finding it very difficult to gain the skill in this thing, maybe you're just trying to lead the wrong thing. Maybe that's just all it is. You're just trying to lead the wrong thing, and you need to figure out something that you are able to develop high-level skills in order to do that thing, because you have to develop that trust.
Yeah. Did you ever find yourself trying to lead the wrong thing at any point?
Maybe soccer. Maybe.
Interesting.
In the sense where I just didn't know how real it was on the grander scheme. To me, my pinnacle of my career would have been winning our local championship, winning the Whipwheel Championship. That would have been the pinnacle for me of my career and what I wanted for us as a group.
Facts.
But how high level is that in the grander scheme of things?
Right.
How high level is that? So maybe I shouldn't have cared as much to lead to something. We needed a leader. It could have been me, and we would have been extremely more successful with me leading. But my aspirations did not extend past that. And maybe for some people it did. I know sure as fuck, and just in the rest of the country, there's tons of people out there who genuinely care about the sport.
Right.
So, I mean, I would like to think that I try my best not to try to lead things that I just have no business leading.
Trying to lead, yeah.
You know? Maybe some small things here and there.
Yeah, type shit, yeah.
Maybe
yeah,
small things.
Yeah,
but nothing
major.
Right,
yeah.
Nothing major.
Sure. Then just kind of switching gears, kind of back to the conversation of, Pittsburgh, mayor, all that. When you see Pittsburgh in its ideal state, it's a thriving state. What does that look like to you?
And I kind of touched on that a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
Again, the economy. There is business here. There's jobs available for people at every single level, from the lowest of level of jobs to the highest level of jobs. Execs want to be here.
Right.
People that are just on the operationals, they want to be here. People want to be here to work, and there is work to
be done.
Yeah.
There's
work to be done.
Absolutely.
It's safe.
Yeah.
There's life to this. There's a nightlife to the city.
Yeah.
There's constantly things to do.
No.
I would never take sports out of Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is a sports city.
100%.
And I don't think you can take sports out of the city.
Can't. There's no
so
way.
It doesn't hurt to add other things to it too.
A basketball team would be crazy.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. But still, just other things to do. The arts are thriving here in Pittsburgh.
100%.
There is a low-key deep history of arts here, especially in the
Man,
jazz
oh,
world
man.
in Pittsburgh.
Man, oh man.
Bring that to light.
Mhm.
I want just more class, more fun.
A renaissance.
Say a true renaissance
Right,
here
right.
in the city. I want it to feel alive and safe.
Hell yeah.
I want it to feel alive and safe.
Absolutely.
That's what I want most from Pittsburgh.
Absolutely. When you were just even thinking about creating this media company, getting that off the ground obviously wasn't easy, and you weren't in necessarily the most stable part of your life at this point. What was the most challenging aspect from just the inception of the idea to getting off the ground? Just those certain milestones that you hit, you figured it out. We're obviously on year, going on year 4, right? But initially, what did you find a little bit challenging?
It's a tough question for me to answer because yes, things are challenging.
Right.
Yes, things are challenging. But I just have a relentless drive to make it work no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say seeing things not be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to imperfection again.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you start anything, then you see imperfection again.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, I finally started I want to say yet perfecting my
Say
music.
that again, because we said when you start anything, you see imperfection.
Yes.
Again, that's crazy.
Yes.
That's a fact, though. Yeah.
Yes, you were reintroduced to imperfection every
Damn.
time that you start something new.
Jewel, facts. That's a fact.
And I had to sit with that because that was also a tumultuous time, like you said, in my life. I was not nearly as stable as I am. It's not even in.
Sure.
It's a joke to even say.
Right.
The comparison of where I am today as where I was 3.5 years ago.
Right.
You're talking to two different people.
Facts.
At this time.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, I guess, the most challenging thing was balancing my personal life and what I had going on in my personal life at the time while still trying to make this happen.
Right.
And I think a lot of people that holds them back and having to separate those two things. No matter what the hell is going on in my personal life right now, I have to continue this relentless pursuit of moving this forward. Again, these first few episodes were filmed in my ex's place.
Yeah.
Keyword X. I'm not even with her no more.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had to move that over to your studio apartment.
Yeah.
It's doing whatever it took to work, and those were just the circumstances of the time. And so I guess that is the most challenging of having to balance what was going on in my personal life at that time while still doing this, while still making music, while still trying to get myself financially stable. And 1,000 other things, and all this shit requires investment. This requires money.
Right. 100%. No, I it's incredible just to see how you've navigated just life for like the past, again, 3 years. And how do you, because you said that, you demand a lot from yourself. What are the effects of that, just energy-wise, time-wise? Like, what's the internal dialogue for you like? And it's how do you deal with when you make certain mistakes, if any? Like, not if any, because I mean, like, obviously we're human beings, but how do you move past that? That is something for me that just floors me, man. When I just don't get something right or misstep on something, it could just personally, like, it just can kind of take me back a little bit, and in my mind at least, it resets any progress that may have been made, So how do you handle moments like that?
So I think in those moments you might feel emotions like fear, like self-doubt, emotions like that. I feel anger. I feel nothing but anger and rage in those moments.
Oh shit!
And then I have to bottle that into something.
Yeah, damn.
But it begins as an anger, a
crazy.
true anger. A violent anger.
Damn.
Where it's I'm pissed that this thing didn't work. I'm mad. It's not me.
I feel you.
It's not me.
I feel you.
Something's not working right.
Right.
And when I say not me, I'm saying that it's not that I'm incapable of learning or I'm incapable of growing. I'm incapable. This thing's not fucking working out right now. That's pissing me the fuck off.
Right.
And I need to figure out how to make this work.
Right.
And also knowing when to step away from shit.
Sure.
Also knowing that it doesn't matter how much fucking time I put in this, I'm just not good at this.
Right.
Now, I joke that I could really put years into trying to dunk.
Yo, you and me both, man. We could start today.
For anybody who knows, I'm 5'7".
Word up, reveal. I'm also 5'7". My name is
Never
Toby. I'm
had-
5'7".
Never had those kind of hops in my entire life.
Word up, but no, I completely
I
understand.
could.
Yeah.
And maybe I might get there. Maybe I might be one of those
Yeah.
5'7" niggas that trains so much.
Yeah, right.
I don't think so.
Right.
So I'm not going to sit there and beat my head against the wall
Sure.
over something
Trying
that
to
I
figure
know.
out.
And it comes down to knowing yourself. I know what is me.
Mm-hmm.
I know what is me.
It's a fact.
I know it's not me. I know what is me.
Right.
I know what I just flat out am incapable of doing.
Facts.
So I just stay away from those things.
Facts.
I just stay away from those things.
Facts.
And
I
then
feel it.
I know the things that I am capable of. So again, it's just an anger because I'm like, I know I can do this.
Right.
When I was initially making music, I knew I can make great music. I
Right.
knew. What the fuck you mean I gotta engineer this shit? What is that? What the fuck are you talking about?
Talking about? I got to engineer.
Now I'm pissed.
Mix and master.
Now I'm pissed.
Yeah, right.
Fuck you mean I gotta
He said,
upload this to a
"Now I'm
distributor?"
pissed." Yeah, now I'm pissed.
Now I'm pissed. Now I'm pissed the fuck off.
That's hilarious.
Now I'm pissed the fuck off.
Right,
You know?
right.
And then I channel that into that. That doesn't last long.
Yeah,
Because
right.
again, it then got to be channeled into something, and it's never into a negative emotion. It's just okay. Usually, you good, you fall asleep, you wake up. All right, so what's the solution to this?
Yeah, right.
All right, so what's the solution? What's the path that I got to take? Sometimes the answer is unfortunate. Sometimes you don't like the answer.
Yeah, right.
You're not gonna like the answer all the time.
Yeah,
You're just simply
right.
not gonna like the answer all
Fair,
the time.
right.
But you know,
The answer.
again, as his leader, you know the answer.
Right.
You know what needs to be done, and then you just go, okay, well,
Yeah, right.
guess it's time to go do
Time to
that.
Get our ducks in a row and do that. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. I completely agree. I think you said I feel anger and rage, but I feel that, and you've even just told me you did just in everyday life, and there's certain moments where it's like, yeah, no, that's probably you probably not happy right now,
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely feel that. As far as just something unexpected, 3 years in, going on 4 years, any guest or just really putting Masters of Creation Media together, was there anything unexpected that you maybe just learned from a guest or just the process in building this up?
I think everything's unexpected. I think that's life. Everything's unexpected, and you just kind of plan for everything. So there's been every moment is unexpected. Every time that we have a guest on here, I have no clue what they're going to say.
That's true.
I have no clue what they're going to say. I have
true.
no clue if they're going to tighten up. They never do.
Yeah, thankfully.
I have a great host. Some part of leader.
Yeah,
Make sure you have a great host
Yeah,
to
sure.
prevent things like this from happening. Do
Right.
certain things, put them in a safe place
Yeah,
to prevent
right.
these things from happening.
Sure.
You try to do everything
What you
possible,
can,
and
right.
most of the time, as long as you plan for things, it tends to work out
Yeah,
in your
right.
favor, especially if you plan a lot and diligently.
Mm-hmm.
But then things pop up, and you just kind of just ride with it.
Yeah.
Again, we had one of my favorite guests that we've had on recently. Fucking broke the damn light bulb. I was having the worst day of my goddamn week, month that day.
Yeah.
I fucking go ahead and bust one of the damn light bulbs.
Yeah.
Before I joke, but the truth, before I even threw it in the trash can, I already bought fucking new ones. They're already on the way before I even fucking threw that one out.
Right. That's funny as hell.
Wasn't expecting me to fucking drop that light bulb.
Of course, right.
But what you do, you
move
and again,
on.
anger
Yeah,
was
right.
what I felt.
Yeah, sure.
Anger is what I felt.
Blinding rage.
Yeah. Blinding rage.
Yeah.
Are my hands just
Yeah.
fragile? Do I drop everything in life?
Yeah, right.
Am I just a dropper?
Yeah.
I know I don't ever fucking drop shit, and I just dropped that fucking thing.
Yeah.
I have to buy another fucking new one.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a great podcast too. It's gonna be one fucking light.
Yeah.
And just okay, I just gotta buy a new light. Like it's just there's no other solution. There's another thing, accepting certain things.
Acceptance.
There's nothing else I can do right now but just purchase another fucking light, use the one that we have that works, and move forward.
And chill out.
Yeah, that's adaptability. Adaptability is extremely important.
Agreed, man.
Extremely important.
Agreed. Going into, I think my next question will kind of even bleed into that. Business owner, artist, two completely different sides of the brain. You feel me? Like one is usually not the other. Usually, right? How do you handle that dichotomy? Because you are, for anyone who doesn't know, super creative, super talented. And then again, you also are running a business. That's left brain, right brain. And usually, artists just by nature want nothing to do with that sort of shit. They're just completely adverse. Not completely, but they're just usually adverse to things of that nature. Structured things, things that have deadlines and things that require punctuality and things of that nature. So how do you handle those two worlds? Is there anything that you learn from the business world that you're applying to music and vice versa? Or
I mean, definitely a huge part of it was me finally accepting myself and getting to the point where, as you introduced me in this podcast, and how, because that's how I introduce myself now moving forward. I'm Michael, the Master in Creation Harrell. I'm both. And I've always been both. And I think there was times where I fought that, where there's times where I wanted to be Michael Harrell, and there's times where I wanted to be the Master in Creation. There's times when I want to be Mike. I never call myself Mike. My boys call me Mike. There's times where they need Mike. There's times where my grandmother just needs her grandson. There's times, she calls me Bud. Nana calls me Bud. You know what I mean? Like there's I'm all those things. Yeah. I'm Bud, I'm Mike, I'm Michael, I'm Michael Harrell, I'm the Master in Creation, I'm the owner of Master in Creation Media Company, I'm the leasing agent. I am all these things. And just accepting that I am all these things. So by default, they're all going to intersect because they always do, because that's just is me, and just not fighting that intersection. And I think I perfected that over this past year specifically. And I don't know if I've ever said it on the podcast before, but because earlier on in my music career, I really fought having a job. I'm like, I do not want a fucking job. I want to focus on music. I want music to be my job.
Right.
Music will never be your job without you having financial stability.
Say that just again, never. Bro. I think that's
and
important.
If it does, you got extremely lucky. You were one of your 0.0001%, and you're about to be fucking scared. You're about to be scared because you're about to be thrown into responsibility that you have no ability to handle.
Regardless,
you have no ability to handle that amount of responsibility.
I think that's a very, very important piece, man.
So now I've gotten myself to the point where I can financially do whatever I want musically with the business, and Michael's still fine. I still have excess money. I'm in a
much better place to even do that shit.
I'm in a much better place.
Right.
And talking to Paradise Gray, who is a legend in the music industry.
Shout out to Paradise Gray, yeah.
This is the story that I'm not sure if I shared before, but I was telling him my frustrations with working in a corporate job and doing music at the same time. And he said he was chilling, smoking with a dude after he just won a Grammy back in the like early 90s, 80s, something like that. Crazy. And the dude was like just won a Grammy. Dude goes, yo, I gotta go home. Paradise goes, what you mean, man? Like, you just won a Grammy. Like, you
we are home. Yeah.
He goes, hey, I got work tomorrow. He goes, what do you mean you got work? You just want Paradise stop. He goes, that's hip hop.
Come on, son. I'm about to flip the table on some battle rap shit, but that's a fact, bro. That's what it is.
That is hip hop.
You could have a Grammy-winning album record and have to clock in. Wow, you are this superstar, this super talented. It's just what hip hop is built on, bro. What a lot of artistic and musical careers are built on, man. Not to cut you off, but 100%.
That is hip hop.
Yep.
Once I understood that, That's all I need to hear. That's all I need to hear from him. That to this day is one of the most important stories I've ever been told from somebody, and that allowed me and helped me to be able to be all these things all at once.
Absolutely, man. No, I completely agree with that, man. It's just accepting, because like you said, I think music is seen as this end goal of like, once I can just live off music alone. Bro, your favorite artists don't even live off solely music. Like, music is probably, if you looked at their income,
your favorite artist has to tour. That's not creating music.
You feel me?
They have to
do that.
They have to tour.
They have
to do this media event. They have to
they're not just doing 30 city tours from the goodness of their heart like half the time. Like,
I cannot stress enough that if you are an artist and you're extremely talented and you're wondering why you're not getting to where you're at, is because you do not have enough finance. You just simply do not have enough finance. There's multiple ways to get that finance.
Right.
A short shot way is getting yourself a good job. That's just a short shot way. That's just a way that's going to work 100% of the time. Yeah, you can't trap.
Yeah, you can't stash a pound in the closet.
You can't scam.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you can be lucky and have a very wealthy relative.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you can get lucky
Plug in the
and
industry
just
here
somehow meet the right person at the right time.
Right.
And but I can tell you a way that's going to work 100% of the time. You going out and getting yourself a good job. I would not be able to do what I'm currently doing now and what I'm going to be expanding upon in 2025 without having a lot of income coming in.
Right.
You know, again, I make very good money and I have to work my 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And I'm completely fine with that because I'm still the master in creation. This is how I came into work today. This is how I came in looking at work today. You know, it's you have to have that. And I remember, I just recently, last night maybe even, DDG, who is a rapper but started out as a YouTuber and still does both.
For real? He was a YouTuber?
Yeah, YouTube content. He's a streamer YouTuber. Like, that's who DDG really is.
For real?
Yeah, music came later.
That's crazy.
He said in the same month, he netted maybe asterisk to maybe, $10,000 off of his music. He had to tour and do all this. It was a month-long tour that he did in a month. $10,000.
Look at that.
He said he made $100,000 in that month off his YouTube.
Crazy.
In that same month. And he was expressing that you cannot do this music shit without money. You can't, because you don't make money off this music shit. Like, you don't make money off this music shit.
Right.
Until you make a lot of money.
Exactly.
Then you make money.
Exactly.
But that in between, you do not make money off that music shit
at all.
You have to, especially when it comes to touring, as he was explaining, you have to pay the person that is managing the tour. You gotta pay the band members. You gotta pay for the. He said the van was like $80,000 for that month. So I said,
that's crazy.
There's so much money that goes into those things that people miscue gross and net. Gross is what you make before expenses, taxes, all this.
Right.
Net is what you actually put in your pocket. And these artists are netting very little.
Yep.
They could gross a lot, but they are netting very little.
Right.
You have to have income in order to feed into your artistry, period.
You think that's exclusive to music or just life as far as like finances?
I mean, period, you need money. Period, in life, you need money. Period.
Yeah, right.
Some people are completely fine with making. This could lead into just
like you don't have to like do a deep dive, but just generally speaking,
yes, you need money, and then as an artist specifically, I'm sure paint supplies and all that are not free.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I'm sure I don't know how dance studios work. I'm assuming you pay like a monthly fee to be a part of it.
I actually don't know. That's a good question.
I don't know. Probably not free.
Yeah, right.
For you. I'm sure you have to
like a membership.
You have to get gear. You have to. It's just not free. Even time is money.
Right. Yeah.
When it comes to bare minimum, time is money.
That's a fact.
Art is not free. That cameras are like $1.5K.
Word. Yeah. Which one do you want?
Not free.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to edit that?
Yeah.
Oh, you want to edit that on a laptop or desktop? Oh, that's not free. Art is not free. You need to have money to be able to invest into your art. And
right.
I'm just lucky enough that I was able to be so devoted and produced so much art early on to really practice and hone in on my craft.
Right.
So that now by the time that I do have money, I already have so much catalog out and have now become so comfortable with making all forms of my art, video, audio, whatever, any visual, anything, that I'm now in like a perfect place. I'm 28.
Yeah.
And again, I wanted that at 21, 22. 22.
Yeah, right.
Be patient.
Mm-hmm.
You have to get to the finances first. Finances have to get first.
Yeah.
Ideally, I would have gotten to finances first.
Yeah, right.
Practice on my art.
Yeah.
Kept working on perfecting it.
Yep.
But finance should have been my number one.
Right.
Focus at the time.
You kind of mentioned earlier in the podcast, you've been in certain rooms. You're definitely rubbing shoulders with certain people. When you're going into these rooms, what is something that you're observing? Just what do you observe? What do you learn? Any takeaways? You can mention some specific events if you want to, but with just even some of the crowd that's there, what are you seeing as a commonality in these rooms? Like what does everyone, would you say, have in common in these spaces?
They have something real going on. They're actually doing something.
There you go. Okay.
Whether they're the leader of that thing, whether they're funding that thing, or whether it's both, they're actually doing massive things. Another commonality, they're not young.
They're not
These
young.
are not young people. These are people in their 40s, still not even peaking yet. That I still see. I'm like, wow, you still have so much room to grow.
Type shit.
And you're 40. You're
vibe.
50. You're 60.
Word.
And I can see within yourself that you still aren't not where you want to be at.
Right. I love shit like that.
That's a commonality. And I appreciate that. Being somebody who is young. And I can hold my own a bit here and there.
Of course.
I know certain conversations I cannot.
Just chill out and
chill. I'm not going to
go eat these appetizers.
I'm not going to go band for band for.
No band for band.
I'm not band for band.
Yeah. We can't band for band yet.
Your average individual, you don't want to see my bands.
Yeah.
Your average individual, you don't want to see my bands.
Shout out to the average individual.
Yeah. And that's why I love being in these rooms where I know I'm like, I'm not the most financially stable person in here.
Yeah, right.
I'm not the most successful person in here.
Right.
I'm not the most established person, well-known person in this room. And I appreciate that. So that means I'm in a place where I can do nothing but learn.
Do you like being in rooms like that?
Yeah. I much prefer. I don't want to be in a room where I am the smartest person in the room, where I am the most successful person in the room, where I'm the most established. I don't want to be
as
in those
cliche
rooms.
as it sounds, it's a fact.
There's nothing for me to learn.
It's a fact.
If I am in those rooms, I'm nourishing everybody in that room. That's whenever I'm in those rooms.
Yeah, right.
It's whenever I'm coming to the school and I'm donating the backpacks and talking to the being invited to talk to the kids in the school, teaching people things. And I equally love that. But I'm not just going to sit. I'm not going to flex in that room. I'm not going to sit there and imposter.
Yeah,
in that
right.
room.
Yeah.
That's when it gets disgusting.
Where a lot of niggas would posture.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's where people get their kicks off. Yeah. Is being in a room with people.
For real though.
Not to say below you, but just have not gotten to where
just that
you're
feeling
getting to
of
in your statue.
right.
And flexing.
Right.
They could go into a room with people that where you are the
go
to the small fish.
Yeah,
go into
the other room.
Yeah.
To the big kids table. To the
Try that same shit.
You go.
They will laugh at you. They will laugh at you.
Yeah, man.
And I just flip. They're like, dude, I'm on my fourth business.
Yeah.
I sold my second company for $5.6 million. Yeah. And they still give me shares that I still make interest on today.
Dog.
It's
not even to nerd it out, but it's like in Dragon Ball Z. So when they're doing the world tournament, all like the martial artists are fighting each other. Fucking Goku's like, all right, I'm up next, right? He's like, yo, were y'all fighting before? Like I came, like, what was it y'all was doing? Him and let's just say Vegeta sparring in there, fucking, they can't even contain. It's like, all right, that's a real fight. Like those are two warriors doing warrior shit. You can't just come out here and flex on the people that are still trying to get it and like posture. And like you said, it's a certain, that's just ego that's operating. This ego is you just wanting to feel some sort of, I don't know, but I completely agree. Whereas you got to go into the rooms where you're not necessarily where you're just learning, you're observing, you're learning, and just soaking that up. I agree. I'm completely. As far as, because you said prior to you even making this, and I don't know how I'll check on time here after
keep it running.
You answer this, but as far as other platforms and like the spaces, And I don't know if you have just even been called to, speak about your story to other, platforms or what have you. But what's your thoughts on that? Do you think that, not think that they should have reached out to you more, but do you think it's interesting that you haven't necessarily been told or asked about your story on other platforms? Does that kind of like, do you think about that, or is that even in your purview?
I mean, that's why I made this platform.
Right.
So I'll always have a platform.
Well, fair play. Yeah, right.
I'll always have a platform.
Whatever you should like, yeah.
And people who are really doing actual things
in.
will always have a platform
Yeah.
to be able to come and talk about their story.
Right.
So I now don't take much offense to it. Again, I'm just now on the point where they don't even know that my no is coming.
Oh, shit.
Whenever the time does come for them to finally.
They don't know the no is coming.
No.
God damn.
What? No.
No, what are you talking about? No.
I know you've known of me for years.
Yeah.
I know you have.
No loading.
I know you have.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
No, I'm cool. I'm good on that.
I even not give no's.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You want to talk? No, I don't. As a matter of fact, I do not.
Right.
I mean, huh?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Well, you never heard no before?
Cool.
Like, no.
Mm-hmm. I said that no is coming. That's hilarious, man. And for someone who has just built a lot of success for themselves, and for others even, how do you measure success?
You can't measure success unless you set a goal.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to set a goal, and then that's success. Did you achieve your goal? Yes or no? And
you think people overcomplicate it?
I mean, again, if your goal is to become president and you're fucking 21,
yeah,
and you want to do it at 22, A, you're not even at the age limit yet.
All right, put the blunt down.
First off,
yeah.
First off, you're not even at the age limit.
Put that strain down.
Secondly, no.
Yeah, right.
No.
Yeah.
So it's just you have to set an achievable goal.
Right.
I'll have to go back to with Miss Solomon, because her is called SMART Goals. She might even be one of your speakers at your artist talk event, maybe coming up. And she's probably going to teach you about her SMART goals. I can't remember what the acronym stands for, but
bring my notebook for that one.
But again, it's setting a legitimate goal that has numbers attached to it, that has certain benchmarks, leading up to it, and sticking to those, planning, being prepared for everything, and then going ahead and achieving that.
Right.
So you just have to have an actual goal for you to gauge if you were successful or not. If you don't have an actual goal, you don't even know if you failed. You could have failed miserably, or you could have overachieved greatly, and you wouldn't know you wouldn't know either way.
Word. No, thank you. For just your perspective on those things. I kind of want to switch the tone a little bit for some questions inspired by Miss Marie. From Miss Marie, to be real. So we will.
It's not question 20.
Yeah, right. No, hell no, not no question 20. For those who don't know, just for you on a personal note, big on food, big on travel, so if you were having a, just like a dinner party, right? Any 3 countries that the menu could consist of food-wise, what would be on that menu?
Ooh. Morocco. Up there. Morocco, Japan. Fuck, let's get some American barbecue up in that bitch.
I love it. Just the USA.
Yeah. Hey,
to
but
make
American barbecue is like that.
What was your favorite thing that you ate in Morocco? Just off the top of your head, like you don't gotta.
It's just what we would consider a stew.
Okay, yeah.
But
all right.
the density of the flavors and the way that it's cooked and the tenderness of the meat that comes from all that, and the tenderness of the vegetables, and it's just incredible.
Yeah.
So that has to be the main thing.
Facts. Yeah, no. I completely agree.
I'm a meat eater.
Yeah. No, I mean, facts. What would you say, just even traveling and trying different cuisines, has taught you about life? Because I know that it's a very cultural experience. Just food, travel, they obviously go hand in hand,
That somebody can make something that you love and it suck.
Oh shit, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a meat eater. I cook shit myself, and
right.
I'm not extremely happy with what. Like I love salmon, and I
Right.
love a garlic sauce with my salmon.
Facts.
I fucked up and bought a store-bought garlic sauce.
That shit was that bad.
And it wasn't that
wasn't bad, but
it, just,
it could have been.
It was meant more for chicken. It would have been better with chicken.
Interesting.
And I thought I could pull it off with the salmon. And it's.
Well, I mean, you're trying.
And that there's an art and a science
to cooking. For
to
sure.
cooking.
100%.
There's a true art.
Cooking is
to it.
literally science.
Yeah, there's a true art.
100%.
To it. So that's something that I really had to take away from.
Okay.
From that.
If you could master cooking any one cuisine, what would it be?
Probably would I already have steak.
Steak. Oh, you've bodied steak though. Yeah.
Because that's something that I wanted to master, and I've now gotten to the point where I can.
Oh, for real? You wanted to master? All right. What like? Is there anything outside of steak, maybe? Or
that like next, what do I want to master?
Mm-hmm.
Side dishes.
Okay, that's
side dishes.
That's a good one.
I like all my side dishes.
Yeah,
I gotta get with the side dishes.
Okay,
I want to make a very good mac and cheese. I want to make a very good green bean casserole.
Yeah,
I want to make a very good even coleslaw. Like I like coleslaw.
Ooh,
like a very good, like my perfect favorite coleslaw. I want to be able to make that. So I've got to get better on my side dish game.
Okay. I want to throw one of the last questions you asked me just back at you. In 10 years, 15 years, the Michael Harrell of then, what do you want him to remember from, what do you not want to forget from this moment that you want yourself in 10, 15 years to remember?
And I touched on it a little bit in your podcast.
Yeah.
How hard it was and how much luck comes into things and how much being in the right place comes into the things, and that if I did it, anybody could, and be able to truly relay that message to people. If I was able to get here, I promise you, anybody can. Anybody can.
It's a fact.
Because I can promise you this was hard as fuck. I had to go through so much darkness to get to this point. So much. And I look at myself now from 5 years ago, 8 years ago.
Right.
And want to give that person a hug. And I wish I was there for that person. I could have gave them answers that they were so desperately looking for, and just be there by their side and let them know that they just have somebody. So I hope I'm in that same place. And I'm in an incredible space right now.
100%.
So it's crazy to fathom what I'm going to become 10 years from now just because of how well I'm doing now. And maybe that person feels less like he needed to hug this me now. And I think I don't need to hug no more.
You can dap up. You
still answer.
can dap each other up.
Can dap up and be like, I see something in you, kid.
Yeah, right.
I see something in you, kid.
Right. You on the right path.
You're on the right path.
Yeah.
You're on the right path.
I feel that.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, right. No, I feel that 100%. I think we should, if my math is correct, be coming up on an hour, but yeah, for sure. But yeah, man, definitely had slight few more questions, but a little over an hour here. Brother, first of all, I just want to congratulate you on 3 years of just being a great leader, teacher, owner. It's been incredible seeing you grow, not only just within this, but just within your own life, the direction you're taking. It's truly been incredible. I will never for a moment regret moving to this city. I'm super grateful for everything this opportunity and just the city has afforded me. I also want to congratulate you on coming up on a decade of your music career. A few of your songs are just in my on repeat playlist on Spotify, right? And you, not that you were, of course, one of my favorite artists before, but it's just so dope seeing you grow as an artist. If anyone checks out his YouTube page, he has a music video for damn near all his songs. and they're unique and have their own personality, and it's incredible the shit you've gotten off. But I just want to say I'm super proud of you, my nigga. You know what I mean? Thank you so much for everything, and I just can't wait to see, you know, what you do, man. You know, we in for the ride. But obviously, this is the point in the pod. If you want to plug anything, you know, tell people where they can follow. Like, I know, like, you're not the biggest on social media, but if you want people to follow you, or just where they can really just check you out generally, man, please, the floor is yours. But thank you for stopping in, bro. Yeah. Appreciate you, man.
Thanks for being along for the ride.
Oh, man, of course, bro. Come on, man.
So our next episode, which will be the final episode of this year, it's going to be me and Tobe sitting here together, both hosting, both guesting, at the exact same time, and kind of just giving an insight of what our 2025 is going to be looking like for us. We have a lot of fantastic announcements to make. I have been preaching to anybody that has an ear that would listen that 2025 is going to be a special year. And if you've been doing what you were supposed to do in 2023 and 2024, you're going to reap benefits that you've never even fathomed here in 2025. I wish that for everybody. Just know that that's going to be happening over here. We're two very blessed individuals. I have gotten myself to a point where I'm impressing myself a little bit, you know, at this point, and I'm finally happy that I've gotten here. You know, at this point, again, in my personal life, I've been doing a lot. So definitely check into that episode, and I think I'm just going to leave it at that because for that episode, we're going to really flesh out everything that's going to be happening here. Obviously, always follow the page on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram for daily content that we release, which we've been doing now for like 2.5, 3 months now.
That's crazy.
Releasing daily content, not just weekly content, daily content.
I didn't even
you can follow me at The Master in Creation. You can stream me anywhere on The Master in Creation. You can go to my YouTube, like you said, go through a journey of my music videos. There's a lot of incredible high-level things that are going to be coming here in 2025, and now we have the ability to not ask for things or wish for things. I can just pay for things, and that's
nice. Yeah, that's dope. Shout out to paying for
that
things,
guarantees.
man.
That guarantees results.
Word. Shout out to the ability to pay for things. That's lit. Well, you heard it here, man. We out of here. MIC Podcast, episode 145 with the boss, man, the master in creation, Michael Harrell. And we are out, man. Oh, I'm sorry, where everyone is a master, of their own creation. Come on now. And we're out, man. Peace.
Peace.